drugstore skincare doesn't feel like drugstore skincare anymore. Has this been apparent to you? Because I went into CVS recently and things have changed, and not necessarily for the better. We're gonna shave my face and talk about it. And I actually wish I weren't shaving my face with this, but let me explain. So I am heavily addicted to coffee, and I essentially ran out of my soy creamer. So I went to CVS to go get some because Target was too far away and everything else was closed because it was like past 10 p.m. I actually should have gone to Target because I'm out of my versed dermaplaning razors. I normally have a couple of extra razors. I'm out. I haven't shaved my face with one of these in years, and I don't want to. These are the Twinkle Dinkle razors from Amazon. They are good if you're like in a pinch, but this is, I guess it's a tinkle. Sorry, it's not a twinkle, it's a tinkle. This is the only clean one that I have. Not my favorite, but I am hairy, so this is what we're going to do. Anyways, I didn't go to Target, even though I should have. I went to CVS. And as I was picking up my soy creamer, I thought, you know, let me just go into the skincare section. The last time I was in CVS, I was stressed and depressed. I guess I still am, but like, it was worse. And I had come across some really unique things, like the brand, I think it's called Sincerely Humans, and like Acne-My and Garnier. And that CVS had like a luxury section. But this CVS that I went into, the luxury section, it was just regular. And as I was looking around, I started to notice some of the prices of these things. And when I tell you, I was shocked, and not in a good way. Oh, that is hairy. I was shocked and not in a good way. So fun fact, I dermaplane my face about once a month. I am very hairy, and if you want to know when you should or shouldn't dermaplane and if it breaks you out, we have videos on it. And also how my face literally changed after 5 years of dermaplaning. I think it's been like 7 now. I should be holding the skin taut, but I don't have like a mirror, so bear with me. Now, when I was looking through the aisles of CVS, there was a lot of nostalgia. And obviously the skincare section has grown so much larger than it was in the past, but I started looking at things like Neutrogena and La Roche-Posay. And Neutrogena's like $30. When did Neutrogena become $30? When did La Roche-Posay become like $50? I'm a cruelty-free skincare shopper, so I don't buy either of those brands. But seeing those changes in prices and remembering, I guess it was like 10 years ago when I was, you know, a teenager struggling with acne. Oh my God, no wait, that would have been 15. Time flies. Well, I just remember purchasing Neutrogena for $6. I remember the Clean and Clear Morning Burst or that orange cleanser. It was under 10. And of course, I understand inflation happens and prices change. And I know that like the last 3 years we've gone through, you know, excessive inflation, what feels like hyperinflation, even though that's not the technical economic term. But what's just so crazy is when I looked at these skincare products in CVS, I was like, these are Sephora prices. These are Ulta prices. Like, these are Nordstrom prices. I don't understand. And even Burt's Bees. Man, back when I was not cruelty-free or vegan, I would use Burt's Bees stuff. And I remember their lip balm and like their blemish stuff. You get it for $3 for their little blemish stick. I saw their blemish stick for like $15. And I just did not understand. I did find a couple of goodies. For example, Hero Cosmetics was in there. Garnier was still relatively inexpensive. And Panoxyl was still inexpensive. That was like $10. But I was just shocked at how insanely expensive it has gotten. And I do think that there's more to play here than just inflation. Like, of course, inflation is definitely a part of it, right? And by virtue of what inflation is, it can cause prices to go up. Yes, it's because, you know, the government turned on a money printer, but it's also because of supply and demand and supply chains. Especially if the cost of oil goes up, that means that the cost of shipping and handling goes up. And when supply chains were severely disrupted during COVID, there was, you know, a huge issue. Oh my God, I don't want to cut myself. This thing is just terrible. Get the Versed dermaplaner like I didn't. Well, as I was saying, when companies have to pay more for the actual cost of goods sold, called COGS, they usually push that back onto the consumer. But I feel like there's more happening. I think that that's a booger. Anyways, in a capitalist society or with, you know, the economy, there's a thing that you know about called supply and demand. And basically, companies noticed during COVID that they could increase prices, and they kind of started pushing us to see how far we would go. And everyone was shopping, including me. I mean, I still kind of am. And I almost wonder if it's this mentality of like, listen, life is short. Everything could change tomorrow. Everything could change today. Knock on wood that everything's all right. And I wonder if brands just kind of saw that and started saying, hey, if the consumer is going to pay for this pricing, we're going to increase it. Now, I think that is changing, especially throughout the last couple of months. But I do love dermaplaning, which is also called female face shaving, because it helps me get the peach fuzz off my face. I think that companies were kind of just trying to press and see what they could do. And we've actually noticed a lot of things go on sale. There have been better sales this year and like Black Friday discounts than I've seen in years. And even Dior, they created like advent calendars last year. Chanel's advent calendar was terrible. I think that Chanel was charging like $1,000 for like little paper cutouts and like a mirror. It was awful. But Dior did something similar. And this year they brought it back around. They were like, no, we're going to hit this out of the park. Baseball? Yeah. I love Jackie Aina, even though I don't agree with her on a lot of skincare stuff, but she's amazing. And she did like an Instagram post where she opened up her advent calendar from Dior, and it had some like really good stuff in there, but like it's way better than it was last year. And I really do wonder if some of these brands are actually trying to compete again, because for a while they didn't have to because people were just shopping like crazy. But how this all relates to me being in CVS is that I was standing there in the aisle looking at Burt's Bees and remembering, you know, when I was like 16, 17, 18, taking home my first paychecks, I was literally in aesthetic school trying to afford to purchase some of those products. Remember Burt's Bees had this awful, it was like a carrot moisturizer. It broke me out so bad, like a carrot balm or a carrot moisturizer. But I remember it was like under $10. And I just look around now and I'm like, I understand things change, but like, holy what happened? Especially when The Ordinary and the Inky List are still drugstore. Or like CVS still had Hero Cosmetics, right? That was still decently affordable. Some CVS has Bubble Skincare. That's like under $10, $15. Like that's affordable. It just kind of hit me while I was in there. And you know, I used to think of Sephora as this like prestigious store. That was like the place where you would go for makeup. It was like the fancy store. Like when I was younger, I felt like my friends and I had to get ready and like put on makeup just to go to Sephora because we would feel judged in there. And I think that judginess from employees has gone down. They're definitely much more friendly and knowledgeable than they used to be. Sephora is now actually hiring estheticians. Fun fact, if you're an esthetician, Sephora is hiring and has hired them. You should, because everyone knows they need it. But I've also noticed that the kind of like Sephora shopper has shifted. I was talking to someone else about this recently, and it feels like the Sephora shopper is just a mom and like her rich teenage daughter. And I know that's very stereotypical, but that is kind of the sentiment that has been coming up when I ask other people about that. Ulta feels a little bit more in touch, although not always, you know, and CVS, I mean, I don't even know what to think of it anymore. And again, that's not meant to be rude or derogatory. It just feels that way. Does anyone agree or disagree? Like, please comment. Feel free to disagree with me, but I definitely think that I've actually scratched my skin with this. Not even done with my chin, but based on that, we are gonna stop this and I'm actually gonna put on some skincare. It's normal for prices to increase. It's normal for change to happen. You know, what they're considering normal in a healthy economy, because how else are they gonna pay back all their debt if the money doesn't become less expensive, right? Ow, it's stinging. Oh my God, this is the rice toner. I'm in love with this. One of my favorites. A little goes a long way. Oh my God, that razor cut me. No! Oh my God, was this a tutorial and watch Cassandra destroy her face? No, I should have gone to Target because they have Versed. And that's the thing, like Versed is still inexpensive. You know, there's brands like Pacifica Beauty that are less expensive at Target. At CVS. Even L'Oreal. And oh my God, there was another, I think Revitalift is owned by L'Oreal. There was a few more as well that I can't remember. Like Rael, that was inexpensive in there. But it was just kind of shocking to me. I remember walking in and feeling overwhelmed, especially before I became a medical esthetician. But then especially like nowadays, I feel like there's so many more options. There's so many more things. Like if you thought it was overwhelming back then, look at it now. Like I'm so happy you have this conversation with me, that you're willing to be here, learn about how to not scratch up your face like I did. Oh my God, I'm so red. Oh, look, I'm bleeding. This is awful. Twinkle Dinkle razors. Why? You nasty. Ew. This is a PSA to not use the Twinkle Dinkle razors. And honestly, I should have just gone to Target. But since when is Target less expensive than CVS? And here's the thing is that unless we have de-inflation, those prices aren't going down. Like that's the new normal, right? It's crazy to me. I guess the whole sentiment is that if consumers keep paying it, brands are going to keep charging it. But I do truly wonder if people are just going to get fed up with it. And if they're ever going to be like, oh yeah, we screwed up. We messed up in the past. We're going to fix it now. Or if there are going to be more brands like The Ordinary, like Bubble, like the Inky List that create effective, high quality and inexpensive skincare. Because I feel like we need that. And think about it, CVS versus Sephora. What do you think when you hear about those retailers? But then when you think of The Ordinary for like $7 for the niacinamide serum, it's not at CVS, but it is at Sephora. What? Oh my God. You know what it feels like? It feels like these social media apps. You know how Snapchat had stories, then Instagram took it, you know, then Facebook took it, then YouTube had it was called Reels or Story Reels. And now, you know, TikTok came out with their short form videos. So then Instagram has Reels and Facebook had short form and YouTube has shorts. You can't get away from shorts. You open up your phone, it's like, here's a short. It's like, no, I wanted to search for something. My YouTube experience is very different than my TikTok experience, right? But it feels like I could literally literally be scrolling on TikTok for 4 hours. I closed the app and I don't know if I was on TikTok or Instagram. I was like, wait, what app was that? Like they're all starting to become the same. And I feel like these beauty retailers are kind of feeling that way as well, right? Like, I don't know if I bought it from Sephora or CVS, and it doesn't matter, like as long as I got what I needed. But it's crazy because it is taking away that experience that I used to look for, right? Getting ready to go to Sephora, walking into the black and white stripes everywhere versus going to CVS, you know, in my pajama pants at midnight for my soy creamer and my skincare that I was gonna try to spend less than $10 on and get one of those receipts that is as long as the Titanic. Like, does anyone else feel like the past couple of years, like post 2020, have gone in hyperspeed? It feels like we've lived a century in just a couple of years. And I get that as you age and as you grow, it always feels like time is speeding up because 1 year is a different percentage of your total life experience. So I get, as we get busier, it feels like time goes by faster. But I can't remember the last time I was bored. If I'm bored, I scroll, I've got Duolingo yelling at me, like there's so much work to do. Does anyone just feel like it's really freaking weird right now? Maybe I'm tired or jet lagged or underslept. I'm definitely scratched up, but it feels like drugstore skincare isn't drugstore skincare anymore. And I don't know what's happening. Maybe there's a glitch in the simulation. Is that what the people say? Is that what it is? We're living in a simulation now? Look at how I screwed up my skin. I'm gonna go put a hydrocolloid patch on these. I cannot believe this. I'm actually really disappointed in myself because I knew better. I think I'm tired and jet lagged. I think that's what this is. Well, this is the skincare on my face. I've actually shared how to dermaplane your face properly and not get these scratches, but I guess this is a perfect example of how to dermaplane wrong. What happens if you dermaplane too hard with the wrong tools, how you get scratches. The way that my skin has changed since I started dermaplaning is insane, and you can actually watch the proper video here. At my face, man. Are we living in a simulation? Is this the divine plan? I don't know what's happening, and I am really hoping to find some recourse in the comments because it has gotten super weird. I love you. We're a curly girl today. Maybe the curly hair just brings out my crazy thoughts. Is that what it is? Maybe the soy creamer wasn't enough for my coffee today. I want to know how you feel about this. Is there any solution? What do you think? Stay hydrated. Don't scratch up your face with a bad shaving razor. Reapply your SPF and be beautiful both inside and out. I will see you in the comments, and maybe in my kitty cat pajamas in a CVS aisle at like 11:45 p.m. You never know. Love you guys. Bye.